Hey, what's up guys? This is Chris and I'm back with more Everyday RC and a little bit of a maintenance video on my Losi 5T engine. It's not like me to do many how-to videos, and I really haven't ever shown me working on my 1/5 scale vehicles, so I figured I was doing some work here in the shop. Why not share it with everybody? So for those of you that are really into electrics, I'll show you that this is an engine. No, I'm just joking. I'm sure most of you know what this is, but maybe some of you out there don't get to see one up close and personal that often, so I figured I'd share this with you. And this is my Losi 5T Chungyang engine, and this is the stock crankcase. For those of you that don't know what the crankcase is, it's basically the lower half of the engine. Is you have the crankcase here in the bottom, and up here on top is the cylinder. And as you look inside the exhaust port there, you'll see the piston inside, and you can see it moving up and down inside the cylinder. Well, basically this is the stock 26cc crankcase, and I did install a 28.5cc big bore kit for the cylinder. So I increased the size of the cylinder and the piston on the inside, and I built this motor 4 years ago, and it still works great, performs beautifully, and it's really hard for me to justify getting a new motor in here right now, only because this one works so great. It's got a ton of torque, and I just love the fact that, you know, I built it myself. But I'm gonna always push it to the max, and eventually, you know, maybe the crankshaft bearings will fail eventually, because it is the stock Chungyang crankshaft bearings, but everything feels rock solid on it. And I've put this engine through some severe abuse, a lot of heat cycles, and a lot of tanks of fuel. And this is an upgraded clutch system. This is called the CLUCH, and eliminates the standard clutch pads that it comes with. I was flying through those like crazy. I was overheating them. It could have been that I might have been buying the off-brand ones, but I was eating up the stock clutch shoes after every run, so I went with this clutch system, and it has worked great for me. And this is actually the first time that I've pulled the clutch belt off, which is this right here. And basically, as the motor spins, these clutch shoes expand, and it grabs onto this clutch bell, and it spins the gear. And this is the first time I've pulled this apart since I've installed this clutch a few years ago, and it really works great. There's really no maintenance on them, and they last a long time, and I've found that it works great off-road. But that's with this stock motor. You know, we're not talking anything crazy 34cc reed case or anything like that. RC Max 71cc. We're not talking about anything crazy like that. This is basically a 28.5cc ESP ported, you know, motor here. So, and I did install the DARKSOUL clutch housing, and this is what it normally looks like. This is the standard one that it comes with. You can see it's not vented, and look at how much clutch dust collects inside there. And as you can see, this is the DARKSOUL billet aluminum clutch housing. You can see that it's vented, and there's no clutch debris in there at all, you know. And this is the DARKSOUL clutch bell carrier, billet aluminum as well, billet aluminum, and it looks beautiful on there, as you can see. And I did upgrade to a 20-tooth pinion just to get a little bit more top end out of it. I believe that the Mini Cooper has a 21-tooth pinion. It gets a little bit more top end than the 5T, but it still cranks on the low end, and it's got a ton of torque. And I did install the DARKSOUL Lightened flywheel. As you can see, this is the standard flywheel that came with it. And basically what DARKSOUL does is they machine down the fins and they prop balance it so it lightens rotational mass. Basically, it's also called parasitic drag. So you're eliminating a lot of the excess weight and putting the power where it needs to go, to the wheels. And that's basically it. I was just doing some maintenance on here. I've already installed an upgraded ignition wire. And this is the coil, this is the ignition coil, and basically you can see the magnet on the flywheel, and every time the magnet passes the ignition coil we get a burst of spark inside the cylinder, and that's what gets us to get up and go. But basically I had to do some maintenance here. This is the Turtle Racing V2 recoil or pull start housing, which works excellent. I installed this a few years ago and I've never had any issues, but it comes with a steel braided wire as opposed to like a regular recoil rope, so it's supposed to last forever. This would be a standard rope that you would use in a pull start on a weed whacker or things of that nature. This is actually steel cable and it works great. The only thing is that if you can see right there, it eats into the eyelet, the plastic eyelet on the recoil housing. So I had to get the rebuild kit for this, and in order to get this rope out you do have to snip off. There's clamps that you lead clamps at the end, so you have to cut off those. So I had to wait and get a rebuild kit. So I have the brand new Turtle Racing. I just figured I'd get a whole new rope, and it comes with the 2 collars right there that you're gonna crush on the rope. And I went with the Team Fast Eddy bearing rebuild kit. So this is the starter pulley that will go inside this housing here, and this runs on these bearings, and I replaced them with, these are the replacement Team Fast Eddy bearings. And I have to install the recoil spring, so as a matter of fact I'll do that for you right now here. This is basically how a pull start works. I don't know if any of you find this boring, but figured I'd share with you guys what I'm doing right now. Just wrenching away in my hobby room, doing some maintenance on some 2-stroke engines, you know, for the 5th scales, which I really enjoy the mechanical aspect of it. And just keep working the spring, keep working that spring, and now your spring is fully installed. Just watch your eyeballs now, because the spring is loaded in there. And you'll see how I put everything together. Maybe I'll do a little time-lapse video for you guys. But I installed the Team Fast Eddy rebuild kit for that with the bearings. It does come with another plastic eyelet, but you know what? I went with the Turtle Racing stainless steel eyelet, so I never have this issue again. Hopefully this will be the last time I ever have to pull this pull start apart. And I did get a bunch of other upgrades right now that I'll share with you, along with the ignition coil wire. That's the MSD ignition coil wire. I had to redo the Velcro here from my outerwears, which I'll install for you right now. I'll show you how the outerwear works. Because of that lightened flywheel that I have on there, you can imagine that if you're in sand, all that sand and debris is entering in, getting sucked into that fan, and God forbid if a rock or stone or a pebble gets sucked in there, it's gonna blow apart that flywheel. All flywheels are very sensitive to dirt and debris, but especially this one, since it's been lightened. So you really want to run your outerwear on the bottom of the crankcase, and these work great. I mean, you can't beat them. It does suck that you have to install the Velcro on the crankcase, but what are you gonna do, you know? It protects everything, and it really saves you from a lot of damage. Yeah, so that's basically how that works, and that's installed on there. But this is my regular carburetor. This is the Walbro 668 carburetor. You're looking at it in a kind of a different way here. Let me pull it apart real quick. This is not your standard velocity stack. This is called a velocity stack, and this just basically funnels in the air into the intake. So this was the DDM velocity stack that I installed, but this is the standard 668 Walbro carburetor that comes with the 5T. I did install the Team Chase diaphragm filter on there. And this is the stock insulator block or intake manifold, whichever you choose to say. But this is the stock, and you know what? I figured I would go with the 990 carb, so I got an upgraded carburetor. This one, however, does not have a manual choke, and I didn't get it with the ball bearing throttle shaft, but I think it's going to be a lot better than the standard 660 carb, 668 carb, which is basically, this one has a bigger venturi and gives you a little bit more gas on the low end, so you have a little bit quicker starts, not so laggy on low end like this carburetor. So we'll see how it works. And my good friend John over at BOTAJELL, go check out his YouTube channel. It's called BOTAJELL, and he's my motorhead buddy that I've been hanging out with. We met at the 2015 Bash event that GeoStealth and I held, and that's why it's great to meet people out there and, you know, meet locals. But we met a few years ago, and we've been friends ever since, and we've been hanging out a lot lately. And I want to thank him because he actually donated a part here for the build, and this is the where did it go here? Right here, the Top Speed RC World, right here. And this is the billet aluminum heat sink intake manifold, which blows away the other one. Here, I'll take it out and show you guys. I mean, this is the standard intake manifold here. Look at this. I mean, isn't that beautiful? It's absolutely beautiful. So that's the difference between the two. The only problem is that I cannot fit it on with the Team Chase diaphragm filter. The only way I will be able to fit it on, is I've already checked, is I would have to shave off 2 of these fins. So I'll see if I'm willing to do that. But for right now, just to get everything fired up, I can, you know, I'm not going to be running in dirt right away. Just want to get everything fired up again. So for right now, for street runs and just to test everything out, I think I'll be all right. And I want to thank John for that. Thank you. Go check out his YouTube channel, BOTAJELL. He's a really cool guy. He's a complete RC fanatic. He doesn't do any electric, so what I love about him is he's just keeping the nitro thing alive. He's a nitro guru. He really knows a lot about nitros, and he's really sparked the 5th scale bug in me as well. And I want to also thank him. He had my Bartolone Big Bore XP pipe ceramic coated, so it's like brand freaking new, guys. It comes standard with just some paint on there, black paint, and after a few runs in dirt and everything, it just dulled out the finish, and it just totally, you know, just didn't look good anymore. But not only to improve the look, the ceramic coating helps with heat retention. It's not so hot to the touch when you go in there, and if you know, shut down your vehicle and have to restart it again, if you just so happen to touch the pipe, you're not going to get crazy burned on there. You can actually grab the pipe after running a full tank of fuel through it. And it also keeps the exhaust gases a lot cooler as well, and that just helps with the performance of the engine. So, and I got the rebuild kit, the coupler and spring for this. So it's basically like a brand new pipe, you know. And his friend sandblasted it down first and then ceramic coated it, and it's like a brand new pipe, just like it came right out of the box. So, and I just love this pipe. It's loud, it's crackly. I love the way it looks. Got that Bartolone racing insignia on there. And I just want to thank my friend John for that. So I appreciate it. So yeah, so let me get everything together on this, and basically you're seeing a naked motor. I just put its underwear on. And I'll show you it all dressed up and ready to go. Okay, just want to show you, this is the recoil housing, or the engine housing that I went with. It's just an upgraded engine housing. This is the one that it comes with. It's black, you know, dull. You know, I wanted to go with the chrome look, and you know, this is the standard plastic housing that it comes with. And I just went with the chrome one, just to chrome it out, give it some bling, and make it look a hell of a lot better. So let me get everything together on here, and I'll show you what a finished Losi 5T engine looks like. All right. Alright guys, here it is, all dressed up and ready to go. So now you can see what it looks like with all the housing on there. And the velocity stack. Got the new carburetor. Looks beautiful. Got the new pull start. Got the outerwears on the pull start. Unfortunately, takes away the look of this beautiful billet aluminum pull start. That's the Turtle Racing V2 pull start. Looks beautiful, but you got to protect that flywheel. Dirt gets sucked in through here and through here, so protecting that flywheel, but it works great. Got the steel braided rope. Got my MSD ignition wire. Works great. Got the DARKSOUL vented clutch housing on there. Got the Killer Bee kill switch on there. Which is basically a 4-way kill switch, which allows you to kill the unit in 4 different ways. It'll kill the unit if the RX battery runs dry. It'll kill the unit if you go out of range. It'll kill the unit if it glitches, and it'll kill the unit by use of the remote control. So it's basically a 4-way kill switch, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to get it all mounted up on the 5T, and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. Unfortunately, I will be installing, you won't be able to see this velocity stack anymore once I install my air filter unit. That's the DT1 triple stage dome air filter, and I will be installing my outerwears on there. And we'll get the exhaust pipe all mounted up and ready to go. So let's do it, guys. Alright guys, all installed and ready to go. Yeah, so this is basically my Losi 5T. This is how the engine mounts up. Real nice. Only 4 screws, and I'm really happy with the results. The new 990 carb and that insulator block donated from my friend John look absolutely phenomenal on there. And the pipe looks excellent. The newly ceramic coated pipe looks crazy. The MSD ignition with the blue coil wire definitely adds to all the blue accents on this truck, and I'm really happy with it right now. So this is just the start of some upgrades. I'm going to be driving it a little bit more before I start tearing it down. I've owned this truck for a little over 4 years now, and I've never had to really do anything to it, guys. I dumped a bunch of upgrades into it when I first bought it, and I haven't had to do anything to it. I still say to this day, if I had to keep only one RC vehicle, it would be the Losi 5T. This truck is just so durable, you can't break it. It's a beast, and it's still the pinnacle of the RC world, basically. So I just want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you guys are all making it happen in your RC world. And for now, this is Chris the Everyday RC Guy saying thanks for watching, guys. And hope you guys are all wrenching out there making it happen in your RC worlds. And for now, this is Chris the Everyday RC Guy saying thanks for watching.